Okay, I'm back with another review. Since we're going on with the Transformer films, I'll continue on with Transformers: Age of Extinction. I wish I had some good stuff to say about this film. I really don't. It went from the last film where there was a purge of Cybertronian characters, um, and picks up with this film where a new military group is hunting Transformers for what had happened, and they're being aided by a Decepticon bounty hunter, believe it or not. So why they would work with this, I have no idea. But it makes very little sense, and Autobots are being killed off left and right. Doesn't make a difference, really. The story doesn't fucking matter. We're also introduced to a whole new casting of human characters, one of which is Mark Wahlberg, who is probably one of the most miscast characters I've seen in a long time. Probably the worst casting. He's cast as this Texas genius who has like a invention farm out of a barn. Can't pay his bills, but he's the dreamer. Constantly trying to make something a hit by inventing. But he also kind of sucks at it. He's never had anything that works at all, worthwhile. But it's the worst casting I've seen since Denise Richards was cast as a nuclear physicist in a James Bond movie, because he doesn't come off as a genius at all in this film. He just comes off as kind of creepy, actually, because he's there with his teenage daughter, and apparently she's been hiding the fact that she has this boyfriend who apparently is Australian or New Zealand. He's a sprint car driver, I guess you would call him. I don't know what you want to call him. He's like a cheap, shitty version of the Fast and the Furious characters, who has a tricked out car that he drives around, and it's a shitty fucking character. They're all pretty shitty characters. But Wahlberg comes off as very weird in this movie. Very weird, very creepy. He really has this super hot teen daughter, and is going well beyond what a concerned parent should be in terms of him not wanting her to date this guy. I mean, granted, the guy's a piece of shit character anyway, but he really comes off as being almost sort of creepy in like an incestual way. And let's get back to the plot here. Cade, that's Mark Wahlberg's character, eventually finds Optimus Prime in a stasis mode, as truck mode, and actually repairs him. The guy who can't get fucking thing one to work, inventions or pieces of shit to work, manages to actually repair a fucking Cybertronian. The absurdity of that is just beyond me. The level of it is just fucking ridiculous. It's like me being able to do it. I don't claim to be a technical genius, and I certainly don't think if there was living robots, I would be able to fucking fix them. I can't. I have enough trouble fixing my fucking car, and even that I don't do very well. That being said, the story is a piece of shit. I mean, the government is involved in hunting down Transformers, and there's a evil humans, blah 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 blah. They've got they're an element called transformium, which is just the worst fucking name for a ridiculousness that supposedly Transformers are made of, and that's why they're hunting them down, so they can get this metal to make their own Transformers. Which at this point, the company making these things, first of all, is just it's ridiculous, because they take Megatron and they just literally just go, well, he's Galvatron now. There's no explanation for it. Supposedly they purged him of his memory. It's ridiculous. The transformation sequences, which were way overdone, highly overdone, and ridiculously complicated previously, have now been reduced to they're a robot, and they start breaking down into little cubes as if something was degrading in terms of the signal, like pixelating. And they pixelate into little cubes and fly into another spot, and then they pixelate into a car. Yeah, they don't actually even physically move about anymore. Gears, combinations, things like that. None of that shit at all. They just depixelate, they depixelate, and then repixelate as something else. They're not even Transformers anymore at this point. They're just a fucking special effect. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. You look at it, it's one of those moments You look at it and you say to yourself, I can't imagine where this could get any fucking worse. Um, but it gets so much worse. The film itself basically spends its time doing exactly what every fucking film before this has done, every Transformer film before this. Hey, we're going to run around the world looking for something and trying to figure this out or that out or this out or whatever. It's a chase around the world to find a seed, which of course connects back to Earth's past as well. At this point, trying to actually fit any of these films into a continuity where things make sense is beyond the pale. You might as well just get yourself a tack hammer and smash your balls in, because honestly, it makes more sense. Literally, it makes more sense for you to mutilate your testicles than to actually sit down and try to figure out how these films fit together and where it makes perfect sense. It really, because none of it makes any sense at all. It's just a fucking chase around the world with special effects and poorly drawn out characters. Galvatron, Megatron, whatever you call him, doesn't even have a personality anymore. He's being controlled by the humans. He kind of starts going off program and making decisions and filtering things for himself, and of course infects other cars, which are more Decepticon characters that have zero personalities at all. They're just there to be run around, chase things, and be destroyed. Again, if any character development you had in the previous movies, or any connections you had to Transformers in the previous movies, where you thought you were going to get to see some of your favorite characters on screen, just go to your bathroom and throw up, because you're not going to get any of that here. You're going to just get explosions and fast-moving scenes and ridiculous characters and bad comedy and just overall just shit, really. I mean, I know people had jokingly said Michael Bay raped my childhood when the first film came out. Well, by the time you get to the fourth film, he's not just raped it. It's gone beyond raping. Is there something beyond raping? I mean, it's like raping, killing, and then just continuing to rape the same corpse over and over and over and over again. The story involves the seed that's going to transform parts of Earth or into the Cybertronium that they're going to supposedly get. And meanwhile, this bounty hunter is there to take Optimus Prime to somebody who hired him. It's mysterious. We really don't know anything about it at this point in this film. But Optimus ends up murdering the head of the human, the military group, Cemetery Wind, Kelsey Grammer, and just completely un-Optimus-like behavior. I'll murder you. I'll kill you. I mean, just ridiculously out of character for Optimus. Just drool coming down his face practically. The Autobot characters are, again, mostly negligible. We have Drift, who in the cartoons or in the comic books or in the toys was a car that had sort of a samurai motif to him. He maintains that samurai motif and makes it as nearly as bad as the twins, where they were almost a parody of people who are Japanese. Well, they were parodies of black people, obviously. Nearly completely racist like characters. In this case, Drift is just as bad. Drift in this one turns into a sports car and turns into a helicopter, which is fucking hysterical to show you how lazy they were in making these toys. There is no fucking toy for Drift that changes into both a sports car and a helicopter. There is one toy that turns into a sports car, and one toy that turns into a helicopter, and they just said, fuck it. Now, whether that's Hasbro being lazy, or Michael Bay just going, I don't give a fuck what he changes into, just change him into whatever he needs to change you to for the fucking scene. I don't know. We also get the much anticipated debut of the Dinobots, which I think might have probably been the selling point for the movie for me. I was like, no matter how fucking sucky this movie's going to be, I'm going to get Dinobots, which are huge fan favorites, characters. So I was, okay, I'll sit through the suck, and as long as I'm going to get to see Dinobots on the big screen, that should be fucking cool. They weren't. They weren't cool in any way. First of all, They don't even resemble the Dinobots that were even close at all. Um, Grimlock looks more like a dragon than a T-Rex. They're barely in the film. They're on the screen for a very small screen time. They're completely mindless. Whereas the Dinobots were kind of stupid. They were at least honorable and brutish, but they had personalities. These Dinobots are just dinosaurs that are there for characters to ride in at the end, and then they just roam off. Literally, just roam off. Let that sink in a little bit. Main characters that were a selling point in this trailer are barely in the film, are nothing like the original source material, aren't even really good dinosaurs, and they just roam off after a while. They do. Like Optimus says thank you, and hey, first of all, he has to threaten to kill them in order to help them. And then when they do help them, they kind of just go, yeah, we're done. Good. Have a nice day. So, at the end of the film, they decide to pick up on that plot line they dropped off earlier as to why there was a bounty hunter after Optimus Prime. And Optimus Prime learns that there's something else out in the universe that has sent him, and he decides to just pick up and fly off into space. Just fly off into space. We've still got Megatron, Galvatron, whatever you want to call it, roaming around the planet. A lot of bad feelings between the humans and Transformers. I'm just gonna go fly off into space. There's no real rhyme or reason for it. There's no real thought behind it. There's no real effort behind it. It's just all designed to fill time. I can't tell you how much I fucking hated this movie. I mean, on so many levels, so much of it was just padding, recycling. It's become so far removed from anything that even I liked the first couple films. I really did. I was able to sit through the first film and I enjoyed it. I liked the second film, and most people didn't like the second film, but I liked it. I was able to enjoy it to a degree. The third film started to feel a little tired and a little boring, but I still liked it. I thought it was a decent movie that maybe not the strongest of the three movies, but it was decent, watchable. This film is such a ridiculous piece of crap. They just keep recycling the same stuff over and over again. And I honestly thought it was so bad that I said, I'm not even going to go see the next one. I really didn't. I didn't care if they made another one. I didn't care if they made a fifth movie. Now, mind you, I'm the kind of guy who will sit through sequel after sequel after sequel of Friday the 13th movies. Yes, that's right. I enjoyed the Friday the 13th where they were in space. I did. I enjoyed it. I'm the guy who has sat through all the Children of the Corn movies, no matter how fucking terrible they have gotten. All the Puppet Master movies, no matter how terrible, and I still watch them over again. I will occasionally drag the DVDs out and watch these series over again. The Elm Streets, no matter how bad series have got, I have continued to watch them over and over again. Even the worst installments of those series. But Age of Extinction, I have watched it exactly 2.5 times. And when I say 2.5 times, I watched it 2.5 times because I just can't fucking sit through it any further. It's that bad. That bad. And I hated it so much that it made me say, I don't care if there's another film. I'm not going to go see it. I don't care. Maybe I'll get it on DVD or I'll rent it. But I'm not going to just go out and watch it. I don't want to put that money into the movie anymore. I didn't want to see the movie. That being said, I ended up seeing the movie. I'll get into that a little bit further. The basics of this is my nephew, who is a younger boy. For the very first time ever, he asked me if I was going to go see a movie because he wanted to see it. And I kind of felt I had to. So I eventually did go get to see the fifth Transformers movie. That'll be the next review. But I want you to say, Transformers Age of Extinction, is this something you should buy? Is this something you should rent? No, not at all. Not in any way, shape, or form. Honestly, You're gonna get a better film if you watch Police Academy Mission to Moscow. Or maybe not Mission to Moscow. That's a pretty fucking bad movie. But you're gonna get a better film if you watch Police Academy 6. City Under Siege. It's a shitty movie, and they dumbed it down to the point where it is very kid friendly. But it's at least a shitty movie that you can kind of still laugh at. You can kind of still enjoy some of it, even if it's not the best of the series. It's pretty good. It's enjoyable. It's watchable every once in a while. Some of the jokes are childlike, but it is what it is, and you still can enjoy it to a degree. Transformers: Age of Extinction. I can't even do it anymore. I can't even do it anymore. And I'll be honest with you. Talking about the next film, this is going to even get worse, this review, because I hated the next film more than I hated this film. So, basically, steaming pile of crap. I wouldn't buy it. I wouldn't rent it. I might watch it if it was on TV, if I had never seen it. Now that I've seen it, I probably won't watch it on TV, but you might if you haven't seen it. Just overall, one of the worst films in the series, and something I would not recommend to anybody, really. Small children might enjoy the flashy movement, and, ooh, look, Transformers, they might enjoy that, but if you're looking for anything good as a Transformer fan, if you're looking for anything good as an action movie fan, if you're looking for anything good as just a Sunday movie with nothing to do, I would pick something else completely.